What is an RPV? This term, used by aviation people, commonly refers to an unmanned, remotely piloted aircraft. One of the most important features in this type of vehicle is its ability to perform like any other modern aircraft, but with the pilot many miles away on the ground or in another aircraft. Many people still think of unmanned aircraft as drones, and they tend to think of drones as old or obsolete aircraft that have been fitted with short-range radio control systems and used as targets for training operations. This is not so today. RPVs are being planned from original concept and design. As an example, this new prototype concept. In its maneuvering capability, the RPV can be far superior to a manned plane. This is because a manned aircraft's maneuvers are limited to the G-forces that the human body can tolerate. But an RPV, which does not have a pilot, is only limited by the structure of the aircraft itself. As for speed, some RPVs are capable of supersonic speeds and extreme altitudes. Or they can be designed to fly at levels as low as 50 feet. They can be air-launched or ground-launched. And their radio controls are no longer short-range. Today, the RPV can be flown over enemy territory by an operator or pilot in friendly territory many miles away. He can fly the bird from a ground station or from an airborne station. And with the use of other high-flying drones or satellites as relay stations, an RPV could be controlled even thousands of miles from the pilot station. And they can be recovered after a mission and reused over and over. With the space required for a crew eliminated, RPVs have an extremely small radar cross-section, making them difficult to detect by enemy radar. Their engines are relatively small, so they do not present a large target for infrared detectors. Some late model RPVs have their engines mounted on top of the fuselage, so they are even more difficult to detect from the ground. Now, why are they used? RPVs have been used to perform many hazardous missions that could have caused a high probability of aircraft loss. This probability is increasing because enemy anti-aircraft capabilities are increasing. In Southeast Asia, we had to face two types of surface-to-air missile systems. But today, our aircraft could be faced with at least 4 other missile systems. And anti-aircraft fire directed by radar. Working together, these weapons can take a heavy toll in aircraft. So today, when considering the total force structure, the military must take several parameters into account when using aircraft. Stringent financial limitations, the potential of having to fight in a much more lethal environment, and the growing concern about our pilots becoming POWs. As stated before, RPVs were originally drone aircraft intended for use as targets. This is a subsonic RPV target. However, it was realized that the target RPVs could be modified to perform many hazardous missions, usually performed by manned aircraft. Reconnaissance is a good example. Their use in Southeast Asia for aerial reconnaissance is well known by now. RPVs were able to penetrate and photograph routinely the most hazardous areas on a regular basis. As these photographs of Hanoi, taken from an RPV and published in an aviation industry magazine show. Note in these two the before and after. RPVs fitted with special pods have the capability to penetrate ahead of strategic and attack aircraft to dispense chaff, creating a safe flight corridor for manned aircraft. RPVs with specialized equipment can be used in signal intelligence gathering and as an electronic countermeasures vehicle. RPVs equipped with altitude sensors and television have conducted missions at very low altitudes. The low altitude plus their small size makes them almost impossible to detect by radar. It is becoming increasingly apparent that RPV capabilities cover a wide range of missions. For instance, tests have been conducted to evaluate RPV capabilities as an attack aircraft. This vehicle made a remotely controlled bombing run carrying two 500-pound bombs. This test was made at low level with the vehicle carrying bomblet dispensing pods. In attack roles, such as defense suppression, tests have been conducted with a vehicle carrying an air-to-ground weapon of the type equipped with either television or anti-radiation target homing system. These tests were conducted with a Maverick and Hobos missile. Since these missiles guide themselves to the target, the small, fast, and maneuverable RPV makes an extremely effective penetration and delivery vehicle in hazardous areas. By use of the onboard television system, the RPV controller can make his own real-time damage assessment and make an immediate re-attack if necessary. Plus, all of the video can be recorded for playback even if the RPV is lost in action. Undergoing testing now is an RPV which serves as a launch platform for the new laser-guided weapons. Compass Cope R is one of the new breed of RPVs designed specifically for high-altitude, long-endurance intelligence gathering. Advanced navigation systems even make the use of full-time piloting unnecessary. Today it is possible for an RPV to fly to the target, perform its mission, and get out unmanned. These, of course, are only a few of the roles that are under investigation for RPVs. So where do we stand today? We know we face a spectrum of threats that are far more lethal than we have ever encountered. The development and use of RPVs has just barely begun. More emphasis should be placed on this field, as it is realized that pilotless aircraft are required as an adjunct to and not a replacement for manned aircraft, that they are intended for those high-risk or long-endurance missions where fatigue and attrition rates are unacceptable for manned aircraft. It is no longer acceptable to expose human life to situations where remotely piloted vehicles could do the job, and the capability to produce those vehicles now exists.